G'day viewers, well, I'm going to get my AWA radio as a good run tonight. It's the 100th anniversary of AWA. This company is still very much in business. They're just an ICT services company. So, as part of their little thing we're doing on the vintage radio forum, I'm going to make a little video on these, give them a good run. I might plug the iPod input in this, on the back there, and the pickup input. Listen to something that's royalty free on this, because yeah, it's been a while since I last powered this up, because I keep everything in good shape. But they are working quite well. This one has all AWV valves too, amalgamated wireless valves. The only thing I did, I took this 6BV7 out of my Healing 405V, because when I put the back cover on, it was hitting that valve, and that valve was too long. I couldn't get the cover on because that valve was too long. So I swapped it with the same valve out of this one, which is the same made by AWV also, but it's a slightly different series. It's a shorter and fatter valve. So that allowed for the back cover to fit on the back of the radio. 6BV7, the audio output and I can't remember now. Audio output and IF amp, I think, in one. Have to recheck that. But yeah, both valves are electrically in good nick. I just changed it so I could fit the back cover on the other radio, and put the valve out of there and here, which is there. So you can see, I'll get the Healing out. We'll see what the height difference is for the same identical valve. Okay, viewers, you can see the 6BV7 in there, and it's got about 10mm clearance from hitting the back of this cabinet, because that sealing pip on that valve was sticking out here, so I had to leave some room, so I swapped the audio valves around. Now I have one that fits inside this, so I can fit this cover on safely. Yeah, these are still working quite well. I did do some polishing on this as well. Some fine wet and dry sandpaper and gave it a good buff. Had some cut and polish turtle wax, brought up the shine. Anyway, I'll give these a power up later on. Alright, we're ready to plug the iPod in. There's the pickup cord I made. These pins are out of a Molex connector. Yeah, similar to what you find on a Molex connector. But these actually came off of an LGTV circuit board. The pins that the deflection coil plugs into, and all the jumpers plug into. So these sort of those off the circuit board and stuck them on the end of these leads, and these actually fit in the sockets in the backs of this radio. These also fit the Chrysler 1181 sockets as well. So where the pickup is there, plug it straight in. Basically how I've got this, I've done a video on this before, but I'll explain it again. How I've configured this, I've got common. I think common went to one lead, and both positive and negative went to one of the other leads. So I got positive, sorry, not positive, negative. Two positives, left and right positive on this one, and ground common on this one. Because I did try having positive and positive both channels, but it didn't sound too nice. I only got one channel coming through, it didn't sound very good. So I got common and both positives and left and right on this one, so I can get the correct stereo through that one speaker. Got the Sangamo Schlumberger plugged in here, give that a good run. Another antenna. It's got the footage tuned in here. One of the valves there, 503 GT. It has two filaments. And there's a 6, well, you can't see in the camera, I'll pick it up. Just reflecting there, it's a 6AR7 GT, which is a valve only unique to Australia, and it was only made by AWV Limited. I think there was one other one, I think may have been made by Philips Muller, I'm not too sure. But that valve was, particular valve was invented by AWA, so it's a high gain IF amplifier for really good performance. A very rare valve now, so play that.
Yeah, but anyway, you got one.
You can just hear it coming through. When I set to the pickup, whoa. Now I remember to turn that down. Not good for the speaker playing it like that flat out suddenly. Nearly bottomed it out. That's the electrodynamic speaker she uses. phone. It's a royalty-free song. This song's yeah, a couple of YouTubers use this. PP Garrett uses this song all the time in his videos to blow up speakers. Sure, so I can't do it with this one. I've also noticed, let's take the valve out of this radio for a second. I'll show you a little thing I noticed with AWA valves. I thought it was quite interesting how it sets them apart from other manufacturers. Okay, viewers, I'll get this audio valve out. Bit stubborn for some reason. There you go, it's a 6BV7. This one has a good shielding on it. But if I look closer at the filament in particular, there's AWV logo there. That's a white printing on this particular one. AWV Radiotron. Radiotron was what AWA used their trademark on their valves. RCA also use the Radiotron name as well. It mightn't show up on this one, but yeah, this one doesn't have it. But I noticed with some of their valves, they had a twisted spiral. See how it's folded like that? Well, most of these AWV valves, the filament spirals. Oh, I thought that was interesting, and that's only on the valves where the ink on it is red. So, must have been a certain series. And this particular valve has a very bright filament. How it's configured, this thing lights up the whole back of the radio. I thought it was overvolting at first, but that's how it is. It's just the particular valves are different. Alright, before another song comes up. And this, another the same valve. You can see both the same valve, but the physical size is different. Which is why I swapped it out of this and put it in here. And this one here is out of there, because it was hitting the back cover. Turn the light on. Yeah, this is the same setup with its filament, but only its filament is more hidden up inside the valve, and it's not as bright. Here we are. Here's what I'm talking about here. See, it's got the red printing on this one, on this AWV valve, and look at the filament. How they've spiraled it. Interesting how they did that. That's the rectifier valve, 6X4. There's that one there with the red printing on it, 6AE6. You can't see the filament in that one, but that also has a spiraled filament. Too much reflection. So it's got the red ink. Yeah, I noticed that only with those red ink ones. Here's a 6BA6, I think. It also has a spiraled filament. Again, with that same red ink. Interesting how only that red ink series of valves had that twisted spiraled filament. I always thought that was interesting. As you can see there, identical valves, but one's higher. Yeah, just had a longer envelope. You can see the insides are pretty much identical, but this one here had a longer envelope on it. I'll put that one there back in its home now, and I think yeah, that's just got the that's an AWV valve as well, but that doesn't have a that just has an ordinary folded filament like any ordinary valve would. That one there is an AWV, but with yellow printing on it. Interesting. Alright, I kind of like these red inked ones. They look kind of interesting, how they've did that with the filament. Not sure why, but yeah, I've never seen that in valves, where they've actually twisted the filament into a spiral. It's kind of neat. You can see it best on this one. Switch it back on the radio. But yeah, it's pretty simple underneath. I haven't got any AWA also made bumblebee capacitors using we were using this one. If you watch the restoration videos I did on this one, I showed the how they were cracked. But instead of using the colour code, they actually put the printed the value directly on them. So AWA also made their own version of bumblebee capacitors as well. They also made fluoro light ballasts, traffic lights, everything in this company. As I said before, now they're only an ICT company. They're only a couple of service agent for various Chinese brands as well. So AWA made their own speaker for these radios. They also made tuning gangs, output transformers, the antenna coils, everything. Alright, I'll have a good look inside that, all the dust that's in it. And there's a detailed look of the 6A07 GT in there. If I can get the camera on it. There's the top of it, it's got the lead shield around it. Yeah. Anyway, I think that'd be enough for now. Also has a clipsal plug for an FM tuner. Anyway, that'd be enough for now. Thanks for watching.